Yo, yo, yo! Hwy83 Suzuki YouTube followers, it's Tony, and he's back in the shop tonight. Tonight we're talking about clutch pedals. And we know that they're known to get fucked up, but that's alright. I'll show you how to fix them. Almost always on these, it's because the clutch cable is seizing up and you're pushing too hard on the pedal, causing massive strain, and you're gonna tweak and twist either the splines, or in this case, it's a 96 model, so it has the square end where the cable connects. That's either gonna strip out, snap completely off, or the weld up here is gonna break. And very common on these vehicles. So if you feel a stiff pedal, you gotta stop driving that bad boy. You gotta fix it before you cause chaos. Chaos, I'm telling you. So I'm gonna go through and show you what's up. I got the dashboard removed here, because it's practically impossible to give you a video from underneath there. It's so crammed with stuff and dark, and I figured this would be the best opportunity to show you the technique, and you can feel more confident about swapping out your clutch pedal, and I'll go over that right now for you guys. Okay, so here we are. This is a 96 through 98 model, so you're gonna have a square peg on the end. This is I call it a clutch arm, and it attaches to the cable. So when your clutch pedal goes down, that's moving the cable. And again, when the cable gets seized up, lack of lubrication, or too much drag on it, whatever the case may be, you're pressing so hard on the pedal that it's causing an incredible amount of torque right here, or over here where the weld is. I'll show you that in a minute. Nonetheless, you're either gonna damage the arm or the pedal shaft itself, or break the weld on the other side. So very first thing, 96 through 98, we're gonna get a 14 millimeter on here. If it was a early 90s, 89 through 95, you'll have an actual bolt going through the spline end that squeezes it on there, which will be two 12 millimeter wrenches. So the very first thing we're gonna do is get our wrench on there. I like to use the ratcheting wrenches, and especially in tight spots. Again, the video is gonna make it look much easier than it should be, just because there's so much room in here. But you're just gonna have to get a good flashlight and a ton of patience, and you'll get it. But that's the first thing, is just to get this 14 millimeter off, and then we're gonna be able to loosen up our arm here. That's gonna loosen up the arm that holds the clutch cable. So you'll slide it off. Here you can see that square peg that goes on the square end here. So a lot of times this is gonna be rounded off, or this is gonna be rounded off, or this will crack. It'll be a crack right through here, and this piece will be damaged. So that's the very first thing, is to get that off, and then I'm gonna show you the other side in just a second here. Okay, now when you're on the kick panel over here, this is where things get very tight. Of course, I have all the parts removed just so you can see with the camera in here, but you're gonna have the engine ECM is gonna be right about here, and you're gonna have the fuse box panel. So you're gonna wanna remove as much as physically possible in this area so that you can work on it. If you have anti-lock brake system for the rear, it'll be a black box mounted right here. This vehicle did not have it, but that's gotta go. That's gonna be real tight. That'll be two 10 millimeter nuts holding it to the firewall. So you wanna pull off that black plastic box, get that out of your way, and pull as many wires as you can back, because we're gonna be sliding this pedal towards the kick panel, and it's gotta go all the way, and it's gonna have just enough room to sneak out. So the second thing is the pedal has a spring and an arm attached. We're gonna have to get rid of that before we can slide it out. On the earlier models, the 89 through 95, it has a slightly different style, but the same premise. Okay, here we are. This is the spring that gives the pedal the tension when you're pushing it, that springs it back up into position. Here we have a metal plate bracket that clicks onto here, and you can see there's a larger circle right here. So what we want to do is release the tension from this spring so that we can slide the metal plate down and off. Otherwise we won't be able to slide the pedal all the way to the kick panel. That spring is gonna stop us. So if you can see, it's getting dark on this side, but I'm sliding the pedal through. Here's the pedal shaft through the sleeve of the pedal assembly. I'm sliding it towards the kick panel just enough to where I can get this part to raise up as high as I can get it. With the dashboard, again, you're gonna basically max out on the dashboard and the steel structure there. But the higher you can get it, the less tension. You see it gets more tension on the spring when you push down. So the higher you can get it, it eases up the tension, and then we can work the steel plate towards the firewall and pop it off. Okay, we got the spring tension released, so now we got the plate, the bracket off. Now it's dangling there. You can use various types of tools. It's gonna be very tight in there. You can try and get some picks that will pull on the spring to get a little more tension so you can pull it off. Sometimes I grab this plate with a pair of pliers, channel locks, and push it in and pull it off. That works a lot of times. Or really, you got to do whatever the hell you got to do. I mean, sometimes I've even gotten the spring to pop off this end, and then you got the spring and the plate. So then you can just push the plate in towards the firewall and pop it off. But each one's a little bit more stubborn than the next. Some pop off a lot easier, and you just gotta play with it a little bit, but that's all it is. On the 89 through 98 models, there's actually a circlip right here. So you just snap that circlip off and then it comes off. I prefer working on those. It's much easier with this. Sometimes this is so tight in there, it doesn't want to come off. Sometimes they slide right off and it's all gravy, baby. Other times it's a real pain in the neck. But so now you got that off. And now you can see the pedal is sliding towards the firewall. So our next task is going to be at the firewall. You're going to run into all the wiring here. So what I try to do here is there's a rubber grommet that goes through the firewall. A lot of times I will loosen that up from the engine side so that I can pull the wires towards me a little bit, and then up, because you want to be able to clear the pedal. So when you get it away and up, you're going to keep sliding the pedal out, and it's going to create just enough room to where you can get the pedal all the way out of the sleeve here. As you can see here, we need about another inch, and we're hitting the wiring harness. So this is where it gets real frustrating, the word will be. So you're gonna be cursing up a storm, but if you get it just enough, you almost gotta hit that wall to clear. As you can see there, we're out. So you almost gotta clear these wires, and you wanna be careful. You know, you're gonna be reinstalling everything, so you don't wanna damage your wires. And you want to free everything up so you can maneuver these wires around, or else you'll never get it out. But that's it. Then you have it out, and like I said, a lot of times you're going to have this. This is going to be chewed up or snapped off cleanly here, or here is the weld. Suzuki did not do a very thorough job welding these. As you can see, it's maybe 60% of the circles welded, which probably was okay, but I mean, you know, not great. 100% would have been a lot stronger, you know what I'm saying? And depending on how well the weld was, a lot of times they break here. If they break here, it's really not that bad because you can re-weld it. I've re-welded several, and you just got to make sure you're lined up where it should be on the shaft and re-weld it, or sometimes it's just cracked, and that can be repaired a lot of times. You don't got to spend any money. You just got to wrestle the whole damn thing out of there, weld her back up, and then you'll be okay. But when this part breaks, the square peg gets rounded. This one has a little bit of wear from getting loose on that arm. So you can see that sometimes this will get bent from so much stress. So this, if you're feeling pressure on that clutch cable and your legs getting sore from clutching all day, you got an issue, and it's gonna break. It's gonna break, and these things are getting in high demand. We sell a lot of them here at 83. 83 Suzuki is very popular when it comes to selling clutch pedals, I'll tell you that. So this video is trying to help you from having to buy them. So you got it out, and then, like I said, you're either gonna repair this, or your freshly purchased one, you're gonna have it all good. You're gonna wanna lube up your new shaft with a lot of grease. You're gonna have these bushings that slide onto the shafts. So you're gonna have one on each end, these two bushings. Make sure you have those in there, and make sure they are in good condition. This is what it's riding on. If you're on metal, that's gonna cause a lot of play, and that's gonna damage things as well. So make sure you have good bushings. Grease the hell out of them. Make sure it's nice and lubricated. You don't wanna have to be doing this twice. And you're gonna reverse the procedure. Get it back in there. Get your arm tightened up. Make sure you hook it on the cable, and that should take care of everything. And again, while you're at it, I would replace that clutch cable right away. The OEM Suzuki ones are by far the best quality. They cost significantly more, probably 3 times as much as the cheapos, but you get what you pay for in the clutch cable department, and that's what I would recommend. Okay, Hwy83 followers, now this is definitely a project where you're gonna want to celebrate a little Miller time when you're done, because it is a pain in the ass, because you're contorted under there. You're all tweaked up, bent out of shape. First time you're gonna do it, it's gonna suck. It does get easier. This one, like I said, dashboard out, you got a ton of room. It's not bad at all that way, but when you got the dash in there, the wiring, the computer, you don't know what the hell you're doing. It's kind of an intimidating thing, but this video should help you. So when you're under there, you know what to do. You just got to get it done. Probably some bloody knuckles. Just have a good 6er, 12er, 30 pack. You know what I'm saying. Have some Miller High Life ready so you can celebrate when you're done. All right, guys. I'm gonna cheers and clean up, and I hope this video helped. There'll be plenty more to come. Thanks, guys.